I had wanted to start a company, but I realized we don't want to do anything that limits the kind of business we do, because you never know where opportunity is going to lead you. And my name is Don, and my brother's name's Bill, so we kind of forced those two together, and that got Dobil. Then the question was, Dobil what? I didn't want to call it Dobil Audio, because that's really limiting to audio only, and I wasn't sure what to call it. And at the time, there was Dobil Laboratories. So we thought, well, Dobil, we'll just kind of knock off the name and call it Dobil Laboratories. And that's what it was. It was a little knockoff of Dobil Laboratories. It was generic enough, let us do almost anything we wanted, didn't pigeonhole us in any one field, so people remember us. And it was a kind of a unique name. We started the business and it was going okay, and decided we really don't have a symbol or anything. So we thought about it, and we were primarily in the audio business in the 70s and early 80s. So it came up with this out-of-phase sine wave, and it looked kind of high-tech. It definitely inferred audio. Once we broadened out and started doing a lot of other things, it became a little inappropriate. So we kind of changed it, and just the Double D, the swish, which was sort of a knockoff on Nike, and we did that. And we struggled for a while with the colors. And for a while we had red, white, and blue, thought about that. And then we suddenly realized, wait a minute, we're from Pittsburgh. What the heck? We should just do black and gold. So we picked black and gold then and stuck with that. And that's from Pittsburgh. We're fine. That's us. So that's how we got to where we're at here.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Don. It's an incredible journey that he has gone through, and he's built an incredible company. And everybody who works here enjoys working here. And 50 years is really something to be very proud of. This is not an easy business. There's a lot of companies that have come and gone here in the Pittsburgh market. The list is a mile long of AV companies that tried to come in and make it. Don's figured out a way to do it and been very successful at it. And I give him a lot of credit. And congratulations. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment.
Dobil, being in business for 50 years is really an amazing accomplishment for being, a smaller company. And I think it is amazing that what Don has done for this over the years, and just a great person to work for. One of the things that I always notice is that he's always here, he's always doing work, and that I really think that people see that and notice it and appreciate that. And that makes you want to work hard for somebody because you see him caring, and then makes you want to care.
I've never left here because Don has just been a great guy to work for. Always been fair, always been generous. Dobil's always encouraged continuing education. We have how many diamond? Well, I think we have 2 diamond programmers, 4 golds. So yeah, we're always trying to keep up with things. So I think that's the staple of success, really.
Congratulations does go out to Don and Dave and everybody that made Dobil run and successful for 50 years. It's a lot of gears to keep turning. Don cares for his employees. He loves what he does. He loves what we do, and I think that what makes it go makes it stable for 50 years.
We had a contract through Rockwell to do a transportation conference at the Hilton Hotel. And at the time, Mr. Rockwell was personal friends with Vice President Gerald Ford. And Gerald Ford was the keynote speaker. Lo and behold, right before the conference starts, Nixon resigns. And I get thinking, there's no way President Ford's ever going to come to this. And it's the Sunday before the conference starts, and I get a call from the FBI. You will report here immediately with your birth certificate, your social security card, your driver's license, your passport, and everything. And you'll be here in 10 minutes. I go, I live half an hour away, and we don't care, get here. And they grilled me for like 3 hours. And I guess they finally decided I'm not a terrorist, I'm not a spy. And we start unloading our gear Tuesday or Monday and setting it up. And they go, oh, wait a minute, we got to use our own stuff. And they said, what kind of stuff do you have? And I showed them, and they go, maybe we'll just watch you run your stuff because your stuff's way better than our stuff. It was kind of funny. So in the end, I got thinking, I got my hand on the volume control for the President of the United States.
Don, thank you so much for continuing this journey, for continuing this company, for continuing to evolve, and for continuing to lay a foundation for all of us to be successful. 50 years, the only way you get 50 years is because you evolve. You continually evolve. You bring in the right people to do what you need them to do to help you to expand and to grow. I greatly appreciate you. I know you are loved by everybody in this Dobil family. And congratulations. I'm looking forward to seeing it continue.
What I think has made this company very successful is the people, and it starts from the ownership. They're hands off for a reason because they trust us, and we trust them to have our backs. We get through these situations because we're flexible. You can't be too rigid because it's always changing. So 50 years is a long time, and looking forward to another 50.
Yeah, 50 years is something I still can't fathom. I can't believe I've been here as long as I've been here, and for this company to be here for 50 years. Not a lot of companies last 5 years, 10 years. I think the longevity of the people here too is another thing. That helps you stay in business a long time because Don's treating us right and paying us fairly and taking care of us. This place is a testament to how people should be treated, and why you come to work every day. And we seek out good people. There's a lot of weirdos here, but we all just jive well and it works well. And I hope that we can keep that going for a long time, for the next 50 years. So congratulations. All your hard work paid off. You're an impressive man, and I appreciate you hiring me.
Don, I want to congratulate you on the 50th anniversary. It's awesome that you've made it to this point. I want to thank you for being a part of the team and in this opportunity.
We ended up with a guy calling us from an advertising company and said, Morton's Steakhouse wants to put in a surround sound, high-def audio and video system. And by the way, if we can make him happy with this one in Pittsburgh, we want to do 72 of them. We got the first one done, they approved it, and we ended up in order for 72 Mortons. And some of the places, we knew other contractors or people that could do the install from us. But some of them we have zero, nothing. So my one guy, Gary, comes and says, well, Don, what do we do in these cities where we don't know who to call? And I said, call the Union Hall. Gary, classic deal here, gets the names, searches the addresses, then goes on Google Earth, finds the contractor with the smallest building, figuring he's the one that's going to be most interested in this little install job for us, and calls that guy. And sure enough, we're after the mom and pop, and that's what he found every time, and that worked almost every time. And the first one that went to come online was in Miami. And we had never done this remote stuff before, so we got it all hooked up, and the electricians are working in the room, and we finally get it connected and turn it on, and we're all huddled around this monitor, fingers crossed, hoping this works. And lo and behold, the camera turns on, and we can see the electricians there working. And then we pressed a button, and this screen went up and down, and we're all cheering. And the funny thing was, the electrician goes, I sure hope that's you guys doing this, otherwise this place is haunted. But we could totally control the system from Pittsburgh, even though it was in Miami. So then they did broadcasts, and would do 30 or 40 of these Mortons broadcasting from Pittsburgh, and we'd turn it on and manage 40 of them on the fly. So there's still a bunch of those we have never seen. A Dobil person has never set foot in some of those Mortons, which we thought was quite an achievement for little Dobil.
To have made it through 50 years in this business, I've been through a few companies in this business. They come and go on a regular basis. 50 years of one company doing what they do and doing it well is something to be very proud of. And I'm glad I'm part of this group.
For the company to be successful that long, it takes good ownership and good management, and good employees, and the front office, and everyone worked together for so long. and he keeps everyone working together. You know, it's a big group of people, and we all get along. We all help each other out, and that was a big success for the company.
Over the 50 years that Dobil's been around, I mean, AV companies have come and gone and come and gone and come and gone and come and gone. And Dobil is still here. How is that? Well, I think that there's only one answer, and that is that you have the owner of a company who knows what it is to run a business.
So in my 3 years here, I could never imagine being here for 50 years, and there you've been here through it all. So congratulations on 50 amazing years of what this company has become, from the dream of what you wanted it to be all those years ago and the discotheques that you had to go through to get here. It's just incredible to see what you've built and the team that you've built underneath you. And it says a lot about you as a person. And I thank you every day for the opportunities you've given me and the opportunities we continue to give people here in the Penn State and Central Pennsylvania area. So from my family to yours, thank you so much, and congratulations on 50 amazing years.
We had to do Mrs. Rockwell's annual fundraiser every year. And one year, the theme was the Kentucky Derby. And the guy who worked from Rockwell, he has a Revox tape recorder, and it's German. And he's got 2 pairs of Koss headphones that are like $300 a piece. We go do the sound check. Sounds good. We go get dressed up and come back, and he says, "Hey, I got a surprise for everybody. I have a thoroughbred horse in the freight elevator. We're going to parade it around the ballroom to kick the event off." And so he's looking straight forward. He goes, "Cue the tape." But I don't hear anything out of our soundboard. And he goes, 15 seconds, Don. Well, I figured, plug my headphones into the Revox. I hear it. I grabbed my wire skinners, I cut that cord on those $250 headphones, skinned it back real quick, unplugged the cable, touched the metal connector to the 2 wires I just skinned, and Dwayne goes, "Sounds pretty good, Don. You can buy me a new set of headphones when this gig's over." And he paraded the horse around the hotel ballroom back into the freight elevator.
We hired David Rosenberger. I guess he was going to school or what have you. But he finally came into the company, and he came in as a grunt. By grunt, I mean he'd be doing whatever I told him to do, which was my responsibility again at that time. And him and Brandon Sullivan both came in at the same time because they were buddies. We had a small attic above our offices, which was never cleaned out. So for some reason, I picked the hottest day of the summer to send him and Brandon up into that ceiling and clean out all the old junk that was even there prior to the auto dealership that used to be there. And they came down from the attic covered in soot, black head to toe. It was funny. But that's how he got his start, and now you see where he is now. And it was an amazing transition. He went from grunt to tech to sales to vice president. Can't do any better than that.
In 1983, I was the senior writer-producer for Fisher Scientific. And we had what ended up being the last of the company's international sales meetings. I had done all of the audio segments for it, and Dobil was hired to run the sound or provide the sound reinforcement for this meeting in Florida. And it turns out that Dwayne was the guy who came down to Florida to do the sound. And what I remember specifically about that experience was, first of all, meeting Dwayne for the first time, which goes without saying. But the sound was just unbelievable. So there was one segment where we were going to have fireworks, indoor fireworks, and we wanted to augment the sound of the indoor fireworks with more sound. And so we had these sound effects of explosions. So anyways, we're doing this run through of the program. The security people from the facility came tearing down the hall, blew into the room, truly thinking they were going to see carnage everywhere because the sound effect was so loud and so realistic that it truly sounded and felt like it. I mean, you could feel the explosions. And it was all because of Dwayne's subwoofers, and he had a subharmonic synthesizer in there to drop the frequencies down an octave, and it was quite impressive.
So Mr. Rockwell, or somebody at Rockwell, had a very interesting idea for promotion. Mr. Rockwell or Rockwell owned Nemacolin and Woodlands at the time, the golf course there. And he invited top 15, 20 customers to the golf course, and he got the 10 pros off the golf tour to come to Nemacolin to instruct his customers on how to golf. Well, we had to put sound systems on 3 greens. So and it's out in the middle of the course, there's no power. So we ended up taking cars and putting inverters on the batteries and used that to run the amplifiers. And we had to hide the cars over the hills, strung long cables for the speakers, use wireless mics. And it worked. We're all done. Come the end of the day, all the Rockwell customers are in the dining room and they're having drinks before dinner, and we got nothing to do. And the guy from Rockwell says, we just got to be around here. Just hang out in the kitchen, in case something happens. But he said, nothing will happen, but just in case. So we're there in the kitchen, and the guy from Rockwell comes in, gives us a case of beer. A little bit of time goes by, and the door to the dining room opens, and he wheels in this huge cart loaded with seafood. He said, they're done with this. You guys can have this. We're sitting there eating and drinking, and lo and behold, the door to the dining room opens again. And I wasn't a golfer at the time, but I know Arnold Palmer when I see him. Arnold Palmer comes through the door and he goes, where's the beer, guys? And we point over there, and he goes over and grabs a beer, takes the top off, starts drinking right from the bottle, talking to us like an everyday guy. You'd never know he's one of the best golfers in the world. Finishes his beer and he goes, well, guys, I'd really rather stay back here with you guys and have another beer, but I'm getting paid for this gig, so I got to go back out there. See ya. And he walks back out the door.
So Tom McLaughlin has always hosted the Christmas parties for as long as I can remember. It felt like a family Christmas. We were all at Tom's old house, and it was much smaller than his current house, and we were jammed in there. We've grown so much that we have to have it here, which is fine. Game room, training room, we're able to cater everything in, and it's really nice. But at Tom's, there always seems to be a level of what can we do to mess with Tom at his house, where we would do like cardboard cutouts of himself and hide them throughout the house, or we would do, all of these other things to mess with Tom because, he's gracious enough to invite all of us into his house. So let's mess with him. That's, the good old fashioned stuff that we would tend to do. But there's always fun happening at these Christmas parties. A lot of times you hear Christmas party, corporate Christmas party, and people roll their eyes and they're like, oh, I got to go to the Christmas party. But I truly think that's something that everybody looks forward to here because it's Dobil.
Like anybody that comes to Dobil typically to work here, we typically don't leave because it's such a great place to work. And it's so much fun. Like some days you wonder, is this really a workplace? Because everybody has so much fun and everybody gets along so well. I think that's why it's been here for so long. 50 years is a long time. Their dedication is just amazing. When you look at Joe and Dwayne and Rod Brady and even Ralph and Tom, they've all been here for, so many years. That just goes to say a lot for a company that you're here that long and you have no desire to leave because it's a great place to be.
I along with congratulating him, I don't think he realizes how good of a person and how good of an owner that he is and how good of a leader that he is because he just really likes people. It's been fantastic working under him. We've had some people that have come into this company that are no longer here that didn't fit because they didn't have the same attitude in life as Don does, which is you're always nice to people and he's the eternal optimist. He always sees the bright side in people. He always sees what's the good in this situation and not sit there and dwell on the bad. Don trusts his people, and he has set an example, I think, that all companies should, as far as 50 years or 100, that his legacy is be nice and always look at the bright side of every little situation, and it's always going to work out in a positive light.